All right, let's go. All right, Shiny, we're here with Shiny. Just thought that for those who listen, we want to do a part two with Shiny because I felt rushed and that I felt like the last interview was a giant LinkedIn interview with him. And so I wanted to hear more about. We didn't even get to the fact that you have your own company.
I didn't even get to Maryland yet.
You didn't get to Maryland, so we kind of rushed the fact that he's a CEO. What was your position?
CEO, or I guess founder.
Founder, creator of a video game company.
Uh-huh.
We didn't talk about his actual job here, Bethesda Games,
Yep.
Bethesda
Bethesda
Studio.
Game Studio.
And then we didn't talk that much about maybe his spiritual side. And so I want to talk a little bit of that and maybe the fact that when you first came here, you're single and what you learned about women since then. We're having some fun conversation about his maturity in terms of his understanding of the opposite sex, which I still learning. But
That's a hard one to understand.
so yeah, we want to do round two. If you didn't listen to the last one, go back and check it out. But go ahead, Shine. We're going to talk a little bit about his game, Row Beats. Go ahead, tell us about that, Shiny.
Yeah, man. Well, I was telling you before, even when I was a kid in middle school, I was making these paper games. Mm-hmm. So I had this one, I forget what it was called, but I drew this big map. All my friends, they all had a city on the map. Everybody had armies that they could move around and go attack other people's cities and steal stuff. And then there are several iterations of this. So I think...
you call those updates.
Updates? Well, there are several versions. I don't even think all of them were like the same kind of game. Mm-hmm. So I was doing this stuff for a real long time. And then for a while, when I was moving to Arkansas, having my emo phase, I was doing this PowerPoint game that, I looked at that again recently. Yeah, it's pretty cringy. Mm-hmm. And I don't know how good a 13-year-old can write, but I was not that good. Mm-hmm. So I guess I always really was like a game focused person. I guess that's if we were all put down here to do something, I guess for some reason I was put here
to play video games.
Yeah, play video games. I guess make some.
Oh yeah, I forgot to say. I want to hear later how you take. I learned this word from you. The gamification of life.
Gamification.
Is that what you said? Is that the word you taught me?
Sure. Yeah, gamification.
And how that relates to the Bible.
The Bible.
how you game the church.
How to make it a system. Okay.
How to game the church.
Okay.
Yeah, I know.
Okay. Which one are you talking about?
Later.
Okay.
But yeah, tell us about Road Beats. So you had a couple games that you made before Road Beats, and then you.
Yeah. I made several before this. I made a couple of Flash games that I sold. There is this whole system before in the 2010s. There are ways if you made a Flash game, you could sell them. You could put it up for auction on the site, and various companies would buy them. So I got my basic experience of how to make a game from scratch from doing Flash. Did you ever play any Flash games?
I saw Justin play one. I immediately tried to yank him out of the sea to go swimming, but he was addicted to some stupid adventure quest.
Okay, yeah. No, I know about that one. But,
it's like you walk in 2D and you try to hit, and then you wait for the other person to hit you.
Yeah. But you never got into one. You never got into them. That was probably after your time.
I'm not a nerd like you.
You don't have to be a nerd to play video games. All right.
Uh-huh.
So then after that...
Sorry.
Okay, go ahead.
I didn't have fast internet to get addicted to video games.
The whole point of these Flash games, they were free games. So if you were a poor kid, didn't have a credit card...
What year is this? They become popular.
I sold my first one. It was this game where you're this green blob with a face. It was called Jump Goober Jump. I sold that for... like $700 or something like that in 2012. And I just started programming after freshman year in college.
Was that more fun than Doodle Jump?
Obviously, Doodle Jump was a lot more successful. It did okay. It was all right. Mm-hmm. It was all right. It was a fun experience. So then after that, I spent 2 years on this iPhone game called Speedy Pups. So that was actually how I met. So Tom, he designed the logo.
Yeah, my wife gives me shit about that.
It's a good logo, man.
No. The amount of money he charged me.
It's $1,000.
No more. Hey, sorry, just chime in. So Shiny's friend Tom is a graphic designer.
Yeah. Yep.
And we were just spending hour after hour, and then finally, Shiny, you stepped in and you kind of gave me a more clear vision of what I wanted, and then we made the logo. But I wish I had your help earlier, because I ended up spending a lot of money.
Well, so doing this game was actually how I met. So Tom was in industrial design. I normally would not meet people like him at school because I was in a different program, but I met a bunch of people in that through that wanted to do games. We actually had, when we started on this Speedy Pups game, 5 other people. I think they were all various types of design.
Yeah, go, Shiny.
And I'd already sold this Flash game, so I thought, I was the real hot shit. Like, yeah, I actually knew how video games were made.
This is your first game.
Yeah, so I already sold a couple of games, and I was like, yeah, I know how this stuff is made. You guys gotta listen to me. And we were all in college. Everybody was really excited. This was around 2012, so everybody was thinking, oh, I could make the next Flappy Bird. All you gotta do is put it out in the App Store.
Is that what the bombs? No, that's Angry Bird.
Angry Bird, yeah. Well, that wasn't that much. That wasn't that long before that. But the idea, at least back in college, was that you just put your game out there, and there's a chance you could just make crazy money. And unfortunately, it didn't turn out that way. I lost a lot of money on it, but it's okay. It was a fun learning experience. And out of those 5 people, Garrett, I know you had some similar experiences to this. Out of those 5 people, the only person that stuck around for the whole 2-year long game development experience was Tom. So I had Tom on board for my next game, which was several years after that. After we both graduated, we were both working in the Bay Area. We were started on Robeats. So I started on Robeats, backing up a little bit. I was working at this company called Roblox. So Roblox, I think everybody that knows a child between the age of like 6 to 15 will know what Roblox is. But back in 2016, when I first applied for Roblox, I didn't know at all what it was. Go ahead.
Is that Minecraft? is that the same company as Minecraft, or no?
A lot of people think it's similar because they're both blocky, but no, it's different.
Oh, my bad. I know that I saw Roblox on CNBC when it went up to $110. That's all.
That's when I should have sold, man.
Go ahead. Yeah, sorry, Shiny.
Okay. So I applied randomly online to Roblox. They were not too far from where I lived. I lived in downtown San Francisco. They were in San Mateo, so I had to take like a 45-minute train ride to get there every day. That wasn't too bad. And then I worked there, and it was a lot of fun. I learned a lot of stuff. The main reason why I wanted to work there is that I wanted to work in large video game companies. So this thing called a AAA video game company.
This is the pinnacle that you're into.
My dream coming out of college was like, I want to work on World of Warcraft or like some really large game with fancy graphics and a huge team. But in order to even get past the first resume stage of those kind of companies, you have to have C++ programming experience. That's probably one of the first questions. If you talk to a recruiter, they'll be like, how many years of C++ do they have? And it can't just be, oh, I did it in school. Like, they don't care about that. Everybody can do C++ in school. They want to see how many years of professional C++ experience you had. And Roblox was C++, and they hired me. I remember I didn't think I did that well in the interview, but
side note, Shiny.
Yeah, go ahead.
Have you ever done an interview that you didn't get the job in?
Okay, one that I remember that I was actually kind of excited for. So you know how I brought Call of Duty to the Thanksgiving a few days ago? So the company that made that is called Sledgehammer Games. So they're in Redwood City, California, which is just maybe 3 miles south of San Mateo. I applied there. I think I did a phone interview as well. I was really excited. I even bought their game. It was Call of Duty Advanced Warfare.
Yeah, that game wasn't fun.
You played it?
Yeah, it was the one they flying.
Yeah. Do you remember in the story there's like your friend dies and you have to go to his funeral and you like press F?
I just played the multi. But go ahead. It wasn't the best.
Well, like I don't even play shooter games. I was really excited to work at this place. So I even after the interview I bought their game just to see what it was all about. But I didn't get it. So
dang, Shiny, I thought you got every job.
Didn't get that one, man. But well, hey, the issue with these working at a video game company is there are thousands upon thousands of other Asian and nerdy white guy college CS grads you're competing against, and
Okay, my bad, my bad. I just know you have a higher success rate than the average person.
Well, hey man, if I got in that company, maybe I would have been on that Call of Duty. But everybody's hating on that Call of Duty because the story is really crappy. So could have been me, but it wasn't meant to be.
So you went to Roblox?
Yeah, went to Roblox. So what I ended up doing was I guess what you call more developer relations. So Roblox, it's a website and a game engine. So you make the game on their game engine, and then you upload the game online. You go to their website, and you can find all these other games that people have made, and you can click on one, and then it'll open up, and you can play. And by default, it's online, so everybody's making these online social hangout games there. What I was doing at Roblox, so I was there for 2 years, is I would be on the developer forums talking with the people that made the games and helping them out with any issues. Like say they had this thing called like a memory leak. So like if you have a game server up, it runs for a day. After a while, it'll crash. If it runs out of memory, I would help people out with that kind of stuff. So that's the kind of thing I was doing there. I was staring at him. He knows he's bad.
Okay, my doggy's making noise.
The dog is making noise. He's playing. I put him inside.
All right, go, Shiny.
Yeah, so while I was working at Roblox, I was also making this other super pie in the sky dream. Okay, my dream game that I always wanted to make was something involving like giant robots, and I had a bunch of ideas for games, and I actually worked on some of these with Tom, but none of them even were close to being finished. But at some point, I realized...
How many games did you work on? Just curious. Because I know I failed a lot.
Failed a lot?
Yeah, well, I'm just curious.
I wouldn't even say... Okay, so Speedy Pups came out. The iOS game came out. I remember I made... So during the summer internship, I made $10,000 in the bank. And then I paid $7,000 to this PR agency that would advertise it, because I didn't know what I was doing. And let's just say that was $7,000. You might as well have given it to some random guy at the park.
Okay.
And I did get some articles with my name, and
did that help your resume?
I'm sure it did. So it wasn't a complete loss. But did I really need to give out that $7,000? Well, it's a common trap that a lot of new game developers fall into. But anyway, that didn't stop me. I was still like, I still had the fire, still had the dream inside of me. And Tom was in for the ride, but he needed to be paid. So he also had a job. Yeah, go ahead.
You're the workhorse. You're the one that's driving everything. He's riding your coattails.
Yeah, man. No, he wanted. I was paying him like, forget, $20 an hour, $25 an hour. That's a lot. I wasn't even making that much. Well, I guess my salary was high, but I also was paying a lot for rent in San Francisco. So he was along for the ride. He was good in terms of I could just give him stuff, give him a general direction, and then he'd come up with like some visual mock-ups. I'd pick one, that kind of thing. So we worked together for a very long time, pretty much like 5, 6, 7 years. So a long time. So I knew him very well. But the whole reason why I started Robeats was I was talking to all these Roblox developers. A lot of them were just like young kids, in high school. Some of them were going to like just starting college. And then I was like, I think I can make one of these myself. So we had a week off to make whatever we wanted. So it was this thing called a hack week at Roblox. And I just put together this idea and, wrote the real basics of it for this DDR. Do you know what DDR is? You play at the arcades?
Yeah. Okay. I'm still a millennial. It's with the arrows when you got to step on the arrows.
Yeah, with the arrows. Yeah. So
the first time I ever saw DDR was at an arcade next to the wharf in San Francisco where the walruses were.
Did you, when you saw it, were you like, yo?
I never played a game like that. I was hanging out with a bunch of teenagers, and they made me play the game. I feel like an idiot because I didn't know how to play it.
Oh, because you thought you were looking silly?
Yeah, because I didn't know how to step in rhythm. But anyways, that was in San Francisco.
No, I seen you play. Do you remember
2002. Is that right around when DDR came out?
Yeah.
I remember that. I felt like an idiot because the girl I liked was there.
So you're a teenager too.
Yeah, I was 11th grade. But go ahead.
This was not good for your SMB.
No, sexual market value. Yes.
You were stepping. You could feel your SMB going down.
Oh, I definitely was. Yeah. But go ahead though. So you're talking about.
So no, I had made a couple of game prototypes. So the category, the genre of game is called a music rhythm game. So you have a song that plays, and then you have various notes that come, and you got to do certain things in time with the notes. And I'd made a couple of other prototypes of that kind of game before, so I had all this old code and some data that I could reuse. So I had a week free at Roblox where I could just do whatever I wanted. I called up my boy Tom. There's this other guy, Josh, that I also worked with. Got him to make some, nice art assets, that kind of stuff. And I had several people that I worked with at Roblox that are also young and liked playing games. Like young, when I say young, I mean like in their 20s, not like old dudes. And I made this game. We had a lot of fun playing it, me and my coworkers there. And
that's like a test drive. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, pretty much.
Test drive was good.
Well, like I knew it was magic in that me and my coworkers, we could play it together, and it was already pretty fun.
At elementary, at the very
like literally within 4 days of starting the project, it was playable. We could all log in to the same server, play against each other, and then at the end of the week, we're supposed to do a presentation to the rest of the company of the stuff that we did. What year is this? This is, I think, around August 2016.
Watch this.
Yeah, go ahead.
I'm going to pretend like I know video games.
Go ahead.
First music game was Paul Rapper the Rapper.
Does
that sound familiar?
On PS1.
That's right. So
Did you play that?
No, it looks stupid to me. my point is that it was, in my opinion, this is a new genre. It wasn't around for a long time. There's an untapped market, I guess what I'm saying. Correct?
I would say it was a niche genre because it was definitely really big. The biggest it got was, you probably play Guitar Hero.
Yeah, so you got Guitar Hero and Drum Hero. Is that that one?
So that's when it went mainstream. Mm-hmm. It went mainstream in America.
What's that?
With Guitar Hero.
Roll Beats?
No, Guitar Hero. So this whole genre.
Yeah, of course.
Probably around like 2010 or so. And then that got less popular.
They have that. They also have the Dance Dance Revolution.
Yeah, that was before. So that was like a big craze, probably when you're talking about it.
Okay, good.
The other thing I thought was interesting is that these kind of games, normally they attract a very specific kind of crowd. The best way to describe it would be Asian, nerdy, maybe low testosterone. So maybe that's why you didn't like DDR so much, man. Yeah, you're like, this is not good.
I need blood.
You need blood. You needed shooting.
Yeah.
You need killing.
Twisted Metal.
Or fighting.
Yeah.
Yeah, you probably liked, Mm-hmm. So at least my idea when I was making it is I wanted to have that kind of game. So music with rhythm, you hit the notes. But because it was on Roblox, I also wanted to make it a social game.
Let's sign up real quick. Is that how you talked to Aaron Wu when you first met him? Like, hey, man, I invented a video game.
I don't even think he knows.
You should let me play drums because I know exactly how music works. But go ahead.
I don't even think he knows I think he knows I work at Bethesda because I wear this hoodie.
Yeah.
All right, I'm not wearing it right now.
I respect you, just in case anybody's out there listening. Go ahead. I think that's why you did drums, right? Because you're interested in the genre of beats and music and video games.
Well, it's fun. Okay, so once I got more into making row beats, so my idea was online music game where you were in this world, you can see other people, and then when you want, you can go play a music game and other people can join you at the same time.
Is there any other game like that?
Well, nowadays they are.
You know what that reminds me of?
Go ahead.
For those who are, I don't think there are a lot of nerds out there. Reminds me of Final Fantasy VII, The Golden Saucer. You walk around and you play a game and you come back into the world. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Am I relating to you as a nerd?
But that online.
Yeah.
But but
PlayStation 1 didn't have the internet yet.
Yeah, it's true.
So this is kind of similar, right? You have a bunch of you're walking around. You're like at a casino for games.
Yep.
And you try to get points.
Yep, pretty much.
So we're on the same page.
That's the idea.
I'm understanding.
That's the idea. And then, well, I guess everything else from there is all execution. So then, well, you're talking about me getting into rhythm. So after I made the basic working prototype, I remember I did a lot of the. We good?
Yeah, I just want to make sure.
Okay.
Go ahead.
I did a lot of the work during the winter break afterwards. So this 1 week free at Roblox, I think that was sometime in August or September. And then when I went back to Seattle for Christmas and the holidays,
Went hard.
oh, I went ham.
Is this are you allowed to do this?
What?
Is it like a breach of contract?
I ain't too worried.
No, but
Yeah.
so this is not technically allowed.
Well,
Let me ask.
Okay.
Is it like me being a PE teacher and then after school's over, I open the gym, start doing personal training with my own equipment?
well, this is not that bad because there was no money involved at this time. And if you were to talk to any of the managers, because I was literally the person, I would go talk to all these developers, help them out with their issues. So if I would tell them, in a way, I'm trying to work on my own game, maybe just to see the issues that all these other developers are running into,
what to do.
They'd be all into it. They'd be all for it.
You should only work with other music games and sabotage them.
Well, there weren't any other music games on Roblox at the time.
Is that why it would be conflict of interest? Because you want your game to be more popular, and then you want to make sure you take care of your customers. So that's maybe why it's not allowed.
I think the fact that Roblox, they made the platform. So Roblox wasn't making any specific game. They were making the platform that people make the games on. They were all good.
So it's like Squarespace, but
Yeah.
for video games.
Yeah.
It makes it easy for people to build games.
Yeah, exactly.
Gotcha.
Yeah, pretty much.
All right. So you went ham. What does that mean? What?
Oh, man. Okay. So
Like you went autism, Asperger's. Go ahead.
not that bad. Okay. What was my schedule? Probably get up 1 p.m. So I think I was probably in Seattle from entire second half of December. This would be probably 2016, I think. Get up 1 p.m., go chill for a couple hours, grind a few hours of code, go eat some food, come back, maybe play some video games, code some more. So maybe that's like 5 to 8 hours a day of coding. But I remember that's when I got a lot of the real good stuff. Like, what's the code of you're the dude that can walk around in the city and then you can jump into the game and jump back. That's when I got all that.
Let me ask a question. I don't know anything. Is this like an artist? Like you have to be inspired. It's not just grunt work. It requires inspiration, or is it just grunt work for coding?
Oh, definitely. Creating something from scratch, that is definitely requires, I don't know if it's like artist. Well, I was working
like a writer. You get in a writer's high or is in a zone. Is that what it's like?
Maybe a better way for you to think about it would be it is 10-20% artist creativity. It is, you can have some time of this is what I want to make. I have this vision. So I played this other game, Splatoon, where it looked a lot like what the Robeat City looks like. There's a city, there's dudes around, you can walk around, go play a match whenever you want. I was trying to make it like that. And I was also working with Josh at the time. So I'd give him all these references and he'd come back in a couple of days.
So you're like a director.
Yeah,
you have a vision and you kind of like, you want to see people execute your vision.
But that's maybe like 10-20% of the time, at least for me, because sure, I'd have the vision, but then I'd also have to be the person to make all the code work. Because there's,
So you're like a director and writer and actor.
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay.
Pretty much. But I had Josh. I think I sent Josh a bunch of these screenshots of this other game that I was working on. And I'm like, yo, you think you can make something cool based off this? And that's where the city came from.
Just a thought. I do the same thing for my gym. I just see what I like, and I'm like, I want that.
But you don't live near the gym, man. You're 3,000 miles away from the gym, so you're not the writer, right? You're basically just the director.
I'm the director.
Of the gym. Yeah.
So I'm same thing. I like something. I want it, and I tell Bubba to make it happen, and then I send out the equipment. So I'm assuming it's kind of similar.
Okay, that's a little
right.
How hard would you work if the gym was like
oh my God.
in Wheaton Mall? Do you think he'd be like divorced by now or something?
Yeah. I'd probably be divorced.
Would you sleep at the gym?
If the gym was there, I'll tell you what. If you're listening and you're my friend, you might be working at the gym. I would hire my entire youth group to work the gym. I'd hire Yeah, I would be going to church only half the time.
Dude, that's a Chinese way, right? That'd be like it's like running a restaurant.
I would probably be drinking. I'm not kidding. I would probably be taking nicotine gum, drinking alcohol. It's true. Like it's good for me to have a separation, if that's what you're saying. Because if it wasn't, I would be. There would be almost no youth group anymore. It would be very hard to balance everything. So yes,
it'd be the ex-Legacy Fitness Wheaton Mall employee group.
I would be very consumed.
Do you think that'd be fun? Like, would you rather? No, you would rather.
Okay. I think a lot of people. We can talk about this if you want to, but I think a lot of people have these delusions of how rewarding a CEO would be, and then you get into it and you go, "Now I know why people do drugs." Because now I'm not even there because I have a great partner, as you kind of you probably agree. He's a great person, and if I didn't have a great guy, it would be miserable because I would constantly be afraid of people stealing my money.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So, anyways, my answer is, I think a lot of people have these grand delusions about how awesome it would be to run your own business, and what did Tommy say? You don't run the business runs you. Is that fair?
Especially when you're starting up.
Yeah.
When you're starting up, and if you're really invested in it. I was lucky. When I was grinding these, it wasn't even that hard. Maybe 5, 6, 7, 8 hours a day. This wasn't even for money. This was just for fun.
Just side note, my business is hard because there's overhead.
Oh yeah, well there's money. Well you're already several hundreds, however many. You're quite a bit down into it, right? I was to say that.
Thanks for sharing the finances. No, so that definitely is more stress for me because of like every month you have employees, you have overhead. But yours still is hard. I'm kidding. Yeah.
Well, mine when I started out, this was just for fun. Yeah. This was just like, okay, the game that I was working on immediately before starting this was so for a 72-hour game hackathon project, I did this like story-based game where you're a girl and somehow at night you become this superhero. But this was like story-based, so there wasn't any gameplay. You just read the text and then like various animations and stuff happen.
Sounds like a Flash game.
This is in this other thing called Unity, but
time out. Just side note, we're just talking randomly. I remember this. I'm older than you, Shiny.
Right.
I remember the first time they had books where you could determine your own fate.
Dude, I was really into that. That was one of the things I did. Choose your own adventure.
If you like this, turn to page 78, and then you're like, oh, you die. It sounds like a little bit. That's kind of your video games, a little bit.
I told you about that PowerPoint game that I made. That PowerPoint game is just a super advanced version of that.
Okay, cool.
Like you click you click on a certain slide, it jumps.
Let's see, you're younger than me. Guess what series that was? This is the first time I've ever heard this.
This is the Goosebumps.
Yes.
Yeah.
100%. I used to collect Goosebumps.
Dude, we still had those. I still had those in elementary school.
Yeah, you see the library. All right, so when did you know the game you were onto something? When did you? Obviously, you said you were friends. You knew, but when did you get that customer numbers? Oh, wow.
Yeah.
When was that?
Well, okay. So I already said that within 4 days, I was playing with my coworkers. It was fun. I think so. I grinded out a lot of the code during the second half of December because I was at home, not really doing that much, just coding. By March, there were people playing the game. This is of next year, so it'll be March 2017 or so. There were people playing the game.
This 4 months later.
Yeah, 4 months later. There are people playing the game, and they invited me to this thing called a Discord server. You know what that is? You heard of Discord before?
Yeah, that's what Justin uses to cheat, right? Is that right?
Okay, do you know what Slack is, or like Microsoft Teams, or something like that?
Microsoft Teams is the Zoom.
Zoom. There's more to it. It does other stuff too.
For those who don't know, I'm a gym teacher. What did you say to me? Have you done any? What did you say? Intellectual?
Have you done any intellectual work?
I haven't done any
knowledge work. Have you done any knowledge work recently?
No, I don't do knowledge work except reading the Bible is my only knowledge work. Reading the Bible.
Oh man, okay, that's where you apply all your brain cells to interpretations.
Understanding my wife.
I see. Okay, that's good.
All right, go ahead.
Well, anyway, so when it really took its own life was, I believe this was sometime around February, March, or April. These random people invited me to they created their own Discord server for Robeats. So Discord server
Is that like a chat room?
Yeah, it's a permanent chat room where there's, if you're the owner of the server, you can set up these different specific rooms where you talk about certain subjects. And somebody went out and made a Discord server.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Is this like a Reddit page for Robeats? Am I correct?
Pretty much.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay.
And then after that, well, that's when I got really into Discord because I never really even used Discord.
Hey man, if there's a way to if there's a way to monetize it, you get into it. That's what I'm hearing.
Dude, what about a Discord for your Legacy Fitness?
People don't even know what automatic billing is. So not quite.
That seems like a WhatsApp chat group or something.
Yes, we do have those. Sorry. Okay. Yeah, but thank you, Shai.
Okay. Yeah. So something similar. And that's what really drove development for, honestly, even till now. I still have the Discord. It's been through various iterations. There's all sorts of drama on there.
Are you in charge of it or is it independent?
I am now.
Okay.
So one of the major issues with this Discord was I didn't create the initial Discord. I was invited to it. Even though I was the creator of the game. It was various other people created it.
Well, that's a compliment then to you, right? You take that as flattery.
Yeah, it is. But then when you run it for a real long time, right? People, well, just the fact that I make the game, but then they control all the Discord, that might be a problem in the future. And it was eventually, but I own all the Discord stuff nowadays. So that's when it really took on a life of its own. And that's what really drove me to keep going. Just the fact that there's these people playing it, they're talking about it, and what's really fun, and I definitely don't get this from my day job at all, is I can ship some code. Well, I literally just did this last Thursday, so it's still fun. I really enjoy this. I can write some code, bang out some code, ship it out, and people will be talking about it.
This is like an update. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, exactly. An update.
So when did you start? How do you make money with Robeats?
Yeah.
Or Roblox?
Yeah. Well, so Roblox, the way the platform is set up is you make an account on Roblox and you can pay real life money to get Roblox currency. And then people can spend the Roblox currency in your game and you can give them whatever you want. Whatever you can code, you can give them.
So these are like upgrades or to make the game more fun. Gotcha. So
There's all sorts of stuff.
So every game in Roblox has a monetary component to it where people are incentivized to spend money. Is that correct?
Well, first, as a developer, you are incentivized to include this kind of functionality because you don't have to do it. You can just make money. Yeah, you're not gonna make money. So you want to make money to get people to play. Well, if people play, if you want to make money, you got to include these kind of features.
Gotcha.
So all the games on Roblox, they're all like none of them you pay for.
Gotcha. It's like Tommy with dating apps, and he paid for all the upgrades.
Did he pay for them?
He said he couldn't even see people's faces. It was like blurred. My point is that you can play for free, but it's not going to be as fun.
Oh, definitely.
Am I correct? Unless you pay a little money.
So the games that you played, PlayStation 1.
Once you paid it, you're done. I'm not paying.
So that's like an old school
I know.
model, and that wouldn't work on Roblox. There's a few people that tried to make you pay up front for our game, but if you have a whole marketplace, it's full of free games, and then somebody makes a game that's like you got to pay $3 in order to play. Nobody's gonna play that. Everybody's gonna play a free game that they can just try right away. You don't need to pay money up front just to see whether it's any good or bad. So that's the way that Roblox has turned out.
Yes.
And then there's all these like I guess you'd call them like psychological. It's kind of psychological, but it's also just how do you design the game economy? Like, in Final Fantasy, in order to get Cloud's materia, you remember all this stuff?
Yeah, man, you freaking go underwater to that freaking place and you fight the people for $5,000, and then you pay that for the chocobo.
Yeah. So, but the way you got all this, you have to
find a way to keep. You got to find a way to keep them hooked. Is what you're saying, correct?
Yeah. Well, okay. So the way I'd explain it is that the basis of all free-to-play, how to get people to... Well, number one is you got to get people into your game. Like, they got to really like your game. And I was lucky enough to kind of stumble into this. But, the holy grail is you want people coming back every single day and playing your game. Doesn't have to be for super long, but just like logging on every day. That's kind of like the holy grail.
How many games are there in Roblox? Approximately.
If you want to filter it down to like games that people actually play, like more than 5-10 players a day, maybe like 20,000,
So
30,000.
where would you rank your game out of 20,000? Like what
Nowadays, it's maybe like top 700 to like 1,000 ish.
So that's what'd you say 20,000? So that's top 5%.
Yeah, top 5%.
So at the peak it was like
At peak is probably like top 100, 200 or so.
so it's top 1%.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you don't have to tell me how much you made. Unless you want to tell me how much you made. I'm just curious, like how much, like for you to be excited, I assume it's because you're starting to rake in a little money. So that like
I don't even think I made money until maybe like a year and a half in.
because I'm year 3 in my business, and we're finally turning the curve with the automatic billing. So I'm just curious, like
But it's a little different
how
for
long
you
did you-
because you put in money. You had a timeline to like, we got to.
I understand delayed gratification. Like how long was your delayed gratification?
I don't think I made any money at the very least until June or July of that year. And you can imagine I'm
that's
on the
nothing.
Discord.
That's 7 months. That's fast.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
But this is maybe when it started. Well, I was super excited. I think the first time I saw that. So back then you could only cash out Robux in increments of you convert 100,000 Robux into $350. I think I did that for the first time probably August or September of that same year, 2017. I was very excited.
How good? What'd you do? What'd you buy?
Nothing special. Well, like I was already making money from my day job too, but I think this is also around when I got fired from Roblox. I probably got fired around October.
Why'd you get fired?
Some politics stuff there. So it was some company politics stuff. They were starting their localization. So they wanted to, before that, Roblox was only in English. Only people in America played it. They wanted to bring Roblox to like, Mexico, Brazil, all those other countries where, there's plenty of kids there and they want to play video games. And this was like a very politically contentious thing. There were various product managers that were brought on. They were on for several months and they were fired.
So it's nonsense. You got fired for nonsense.
Yes.
Okay, gotcha.
Like yeah, yeah.
So you got Roblox. How's that feel running your own company now? You know what? This is a good question. What did that do to your self-esteem? You become an alpha nerd. Yeah. I imagine that it's got to be like, I'm better than you.
Well, you can be the king of Discord, like right? Like I was the king of Discord.
I don't know.
Sure. Yeah, I was definitely the king of Discord.
What does that mean, king of Discord? Like
you're the king of all these people on this website, but then like, does that actually translate into your life getting any better? Because I was still doing all the same stuff. Like I had all the same friends.
Does it? I don't know. When you go on a date, you're like, hey, by the way, I just let you know I'm the king of Discord.
Well, I was telling you, I don't really talk about this kind of stuff up front with most people because most people they're not really super interested. They definitely don't have any similar experiences.
Shine, that's where you went wrong.
Yeah,
you're supposed to put a giant car wrap. It says road beats all over your Mustang. You're supposed to wear road beats when you do praise team.
I don't know if that's the best return on investment. All right, all I'm saying.
My point is you could try if you want to. That's all I'm saying. You could try to market it.
So maybe I was doing it wrong. So I was telling you earlier, Tom, one of the dudes I worked with, on a first date, he'd always like bust out his phone and show him. We worked on Speedy Pups, so there's like cute little puppies. He'd always show his date, that kind of stuff.
Does that get you girls?
It never got me anything, but he told me it got him laid multiple times. So I think I was just playing around. I didn't have the right game.
So it didn't boost your self-esteem?
Well, of course, it definitely 100% boosted my self-esteem in like coding and like me knowing that this kind of decision making, there's a sort of logic in it, and that if you follow the logic, like there's right and wrong when it comes to how to get stuff done. So, I was king of the Discord, still am the king of the Discord. But
so what other benefits did the being in charge of Road Beats have? I assume I thought you would be more. Well, certainly you must be more confident as a coder.
Oh, definitely.
Like you're like, man, you don't know what you're talking about. Like I know I have real life experience. I have this on the side. Like you must feel good in terms of professionally.
Well, okay, I would say professionally. Else? So at Roblox, before I got fired, I was getting more and more vocal about stuff. It like say if something was going wrong with the internationalization project, I would speak up, tell all the product managers, try to convince people you actually got to do it this way because we have to look at the data, we have to look at the performance, blah blah blah.
So it gave you a little bit of big head. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, I believe it. Yeah, I believe
and that got you in trouble.
Something like that.
All right, cool. Sorry. What else did Road Beats do for you? Positive takeaway.
Positive.
Obviously, you made money. Obviously, you probably sharpened your skills. You know what I want to ask? What did that do for your character? Did that teach you work like a madman? Like did that develop focus?
Focus. Well, so Road Beats is a long-going project. It's 7 years now, and 7 years is a long time. You know, even my longest project before that was only 2 years, and there was no money coming in or out of that project. So that was a work on it whenever you feel like it kind of thing. So Road Beats, once people started playing, I'd say the negative part is any free time I've had, whenever I was doing slacking off, like playing video games or something, I'd always feel like this time could have been better spent shipping whatever feature on Road Beats. So that might be a little bit of the negative part of it. That is definitely motivational. I have been grinding away at this code for 7 years, but in some ways it's a little bit of stress, especially a little bit later. So after I moved to Maryland, a lot more stuff happened, started making a lot more money, all sorts of stuff going on. That, you know, the motivation became a little bit of pressure, but I hope I've come to a good point in life where, you know, I can manage all that kind of stuff. But
so I'm sensing the negatives.
Negatives, yeah.
You said this to me, and it's not worth being a CEO. Being a CEO is overrated. You said
100%, 100%.
Now for me,
yeah,
I feel like it's pretty cool, but it is stressful. Like, I'll give you an example. When I go to Kenya and people know I'm the boss, it feels pretty damn good. Like, I'll give you an example. Oh, you know what? I don't play on Discord, but when people go to Kenya, when I go to Kenya, when people see me and they kind of figure out I'm the boss, you know what people do to me? They come up to me and ask for a picture.
Oh, okay.
And then you know what happens after that? So the guy would say, "Hey, can you take a picture?" And you know what they do after that? They switch. the guy who took the picture would want to get the picture, and then I'm like, oh, okay, it's happening. You know, it's kind of fun. Like you feel like you actually see people who are excited to meet the creator.
Oh yeah, that happens all the time.
So, but you're all like a. So yes, that's a huge, self-esteem booster.
That's true.
So you have that too, right?
Oh yeah, definitely. Well, I used to. Well, I can just go in the game right now. If I go in,
I'm the alpha. I'm the creator.
Well, I don't act like that. Well, okay. So on Roblox, there's this certain kind of you know, you're talking about taking photos. If I go in on my main account,
screenshot it.
Yeah, exactly. Well, that's what people do.
I met Shiny the God.
Yeah, they're like, yo, can I stay there? Can I take a screenshot? Or since this is Road Beats,
you walk around with the peasants, the commoners. Is your character like better looking than everyone else?
I do have this limited thing that you can only get if you make a successful.
Your character should be 10 feet tall. 20 feet tall, and everyone else should be a midget. Is that?
Well, I tell you, nowadays I prefer just to go and be super low key and just because I just want to see what people are doing.
I just was picturing Napoleon on a horse.
Well, so I have this special hood, and it has like this wrench on it that I got for participating in this certain Roblox event. And yeah, as you were saying, if I go in on my main character that everybody knows is associated with Road Beats, all these people just start coming around.
Mob you. The paparazzi.
Yeah, exactly.
You're like Princess Diana.
But this is digital, so they are literally just standing on top of you. And since this is Road Beats,
standing on top.
Well, they literally stand inside of you because you know the characters don't. Yeah.
They try to go through you.
Yeah.
Does that?
What?
It sounds kind of sexual.
This is digital. It's a little different.
Okay, gotcha. They're trying to go through you.
But since this is Road Beats, they want to do, can I 1v1 you? Can I play you in a match so I can say I played against the creator of the game?
This sounds like a god. It sounds like Jesus Christ entering his own world. God the Father sending his son into his own creation. That's
pretty fun.
Dude, I would be doing that all the time. You get to see your minions.
Well, it would be fun if you... I bet it's fun for you because, you know, it is 3,000 miles away. But there's a Wheaton.
Well, the difference is I'm actually there in reality.
That's true.
I'm not a cyber I'm not cyber there.
But if it was in Wheaton, you'd probably do that for a few days, a week at least. But after a few years
there's
of
a difference.
yeah,
There's a difference. Just if you want to use this analogy,
uh-huh.
my gym, if my gym in Kenya was here, it would be like a campus. Because like what I built over there is it's like out of this world. So it would not be an LA Fitness, please. It would it would be like going to Facebook headquarters of fitness.
Oh, okay.
Okay. So is that fair? It'd be pretty dope.
Yeah, yeah. But I think when it comes to being excited that all these people are mobbing you, it'd be fun for a while. Eventually, you get tired
until people from taxation come. But yeah, go ahead. So negatives.
Negatives.
So I feel the pressure. What does that mean? You said it's overrated to be CEO.
Overrated to be
because obviously there's positives.
Well, I think the key to keeping something fun, because I was working on various side games for probably maybe not somewhere around a decade before Robeats even started. The key to keeping something fun and not having to feel pressure about it is if you're only accountable to yourself. Because all these other games, even the ones that I sold or the ones I paid money for, it was just I wanted to make it. I'm willing to put my own money into it. If it does well, that's okay. If it doesn't do well, well, that sucks, but whatever.
Okay.
Like, I don't have any pressure one way or another.
So you're saying being accountable only to yourself makes it more rewarding? Or is it more stressful?
It's definitely more stressful. But if you're trying to be really serious, right? Like, well, this is all of any major company that has investors. They're not just accountable to the dude that started it all. They're accountable to all these other people.
Shareholders.
Yeah. And in some ways, that's good because that can get the best performance out of you. You are the most motivated when you have other people.
Light a fire under your ass.
Yeah. But, sometimes that can lead to a lot of stress.
Right.
And if things aren't going well, or even if things are going well.
Did you ever push yourself too hard?
Yeah. So,
like a mental health,
mental health,
like a mental breakdown. Did you get
mental
close?
breakdown? Yeah.
Well,
this is several years later. So, sometime around 2020, it really blew up. The issue at the time was I was using all this unlicensed music. So this is when you play. You remember we did the birthday party?
You say blew up in not the numbers. You're talking about
numbers wise.
Oh, okay. So you got a little heat on you because people were like, "What's going on?"
No, well, it just numbers wise. It was more players, more money. Just starting with COVID, and at some point in 2020, I was talking with this company, this venture funded company, where they wanted to make an investment into Robeats, and they promised all these things, like they were going to help us get all these music licenses, they were going to get us coders and artists to help develop the game, and I wanted to try it. I was all for it. But
this is while working another full-time job, so it is a lot to juggle.
Yeah. So then, after signing on this, it basically became a second full-time job. But the good news was this was during COVID, work from home. So I wouldn't say I was working the hardest on my day job. I was saving my really good energy for Robeats. But
don't worry. Sounds like me.
That's everybody.
No, not everyone has two jobs.
But
yeah.
I think I doubt I can. Well, okay. I would assume most people are this way. If you're working from home, you're probably not as working as hard as if you have people looking over your shoulder.
Oh, I'm saying I save my energy for my other job. I don't spend too much.
Well, you never even been in an office before, man.
No. I mean, I don't try and pee.
Yeah.
That's all I'm saying. My brain is not. What's that word? I don't do intellectual work.
Knowledge work.
No, that's knowledge work. Sorry. I do report cards once a quarter. That's my knowledge work.
That's good. You don't have to grade anything, right? Now, I've seen you on a computer before.
If Montgomery County is listening, I do grade correctly. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I see. But yeah, so the course of 2021...
It came to a head, right?
Yeah, it came to a head. Well, the story was the peak was January 2021, and numbers-wise, it was just going downhill from there.
Yeah, that's a great question. How does it feel to be on the hamster wheel and have to keep running faster to maintain the same speed.
Faster, yeah.
I think that's what you're saying, right? It's like no matter how fast you run, you can't keep that same momentum. Eventually, it'll go down.
Yeah, no, definitely.
And
Well, it was, I was telling you one of the most fun parts was just writing code and you just push it out and you can see people talking about it.
of course, it's
A few
very
hours
rewarding.
later. Yeah, very rewarding. Now I was doing the same thing, but then I'd push it out and I would stare at these numbers to see if this new feature,
boost.
yeah, if it affected the numbers at all. And unfortunately, some things are just out of my control.
Of course. Now, what does that do to your self-esteem?
Oh, not great. Not great. Definitely not great.
And tell me about that. Let me see. I will say for myself, all right, I get angry. But for me, I do have control.
Yeah.
And so for me, I realize that if something's not working, it's most likely there's a systemic reason. So I realized for me, we had to change managers.
Yeah.
And I had to restructure the organization. So Bubbly is no longer the manager. We have a manager now. But for me, when I told Bubbly to do something and it didn't get done, I get freaking pissed. So it's frustrating when you try to do something and you don't see the results. But for you, yeah, go ahead. My point is that for me, anger. And then I get fatigue from the anger.
I think for me, with this specific situation, it was just, I still don't I only do finances and like looking at all this kind of stuff once a month still nowadays. So for me, it's more of I see the numbers, if it's like up 5%, down 5%, that kind of thing. Then I just get really obsessive and I'm just like, I gotta look at these numbers, let's break it down, let's see if there's any sort of knowledge that can be gained from all these graphs.
Yeah, you gotta analyze the data.
But then the thing is, I feel this is not the thing I was meant to do, because what I'm good at and what I've been doing for the last decade is just writing code, trying new things, trying them fast.
Gotcha.
So I always felt it was really unproductive. It wasn't a good use of my time, even though I felt really compelled to do that kind of stuff.
I understand. It's you want to be on the front lines. You don't want to be a general. You want to be into action, coding, right? Is that what you're saying? Not out there just doing all this.
That's what makes me feel
alive.
That's what makes me feel the best. That I've like actually done something. Like
I believe that makes sense. I mean, let me see how this says. Just it's my happiest time was when I first started youth group, and I was out there picking up kids, bringing them in my sounds like a pedophile. Get in my car, take them to the park, playing with them and doing all the grunt work.
Yeah.
Now that I'm older, I find that it's my role to empower other people and boss other people around. And people look at me like, you're so cool. You're like a Christian CEO. You want to like empower. I'm like, but it's most fun for me to be actually on the front lines, meeting people. Is that what you're saying? In the same way, like just doing the work itself.
Yeah. Well, I'd say even at the peak, I didn't have that many people working with me. Yeah, I still had Tom. I had 3 employees from GameFama, 2 artists and 1 programmer. I guess that is a lot of work to manage full time. I'd basically have to look over all the stuff they send me, and I'd be the final one to get everything in the game. And I think that part's fine. The thing that I really don't think I'm cut out for is, say the business is down, right? And then I'd have to have a call with the CEO. And they'd be like, okay, so what are your ideas? What are you going to do differently?
You don't like all these procedural things.
I definitely don't like the procedural stuff.
Okay.
Yeah.
Any other, just side note, any other low points? Yeah, tell me about your self-esteem. How bad did that bother you? Make you sleepless? You had to take a substance to go to sleep?
I wasn't that bad. In the grand scheme of things, it wasn't that bad. I was already doing martial arts 50-50. So there's a few people I even talked to about it at 50-50. If you remember Stefan.
Yeah, he works for the. He's a Jew. He works. Sorry, he's a Jew. I mean, he's smart and he works for.
He's pretty smart. He's a smart
guy. He works for a bank or the Federal Reserve. Something
like that.
Something. He's an economist.
Yeah, something.
He's a nice
like
guy.
That.
I like
He's
him, and I always
guy.
punch him in the face because he never puts his hands up.
His boxing defense wasn't that good. But, he got really into jiu-jitsu. I used to see him, but he never does that kickboxing anymore.
So I don't blame him.
Yeah. Yeah, his defense was not that great.
So anyways, yeah, so low points, depression. That's what
I think the only real low point was, I don't remember if I was crying, but I was just, I think I was crying a little bit. And then my girlfriend.
Like every day?
No. This was like a one-time thing.
Damn, man.
This is a one-time thing. This is probably after I looked at the numbers for the month. I was,
Yeah, go ahead, sorry.
I looked at the numbers for a month, probably saw something I didn't like. I was just really stressing out. I'm guessing my girlfriend was there, and I was just like, why am I even doing this? I should just shut down the game right now.
Damn, man.
Don't even do
You didn't
this
even
anymore.
rage. You didn't even smash a keyboard?
Bro, I paid for these keyboards. Maybe we take out our anger in different ways,
Johnny,
man.
sounds like your anger is pretty tame.
Well, I'll tell you this, martial arts, I'm as happy as I can be. Okay. I made it a point to always try to do these calls with the company when I was driving. Okay, there was also a lot of lawyer stuff too. That's also not fun.
Shit, man, I might crash if I'm doing it in Colombia.
Now, I always made it a point to try to do these calls on my way to 50-50 because coming out of jiu-jitsu and kickboxing, I always felt great. I was like, whatever.
50-50 of those who know is a martial arts school.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I'd always feel great afterwards. So no matter what BS legal stuff happened, after coming out of kickboxing, I'd be like, yeah, whatever, let's do it. Whatever, it's all good.
I'm gonna give you my opinion.
All right, go ahead.
I think you handle stress better than 90% of people. I think it's something you're born with. So I assume that if I was in your position, I might be crying every day.
Yeah, maybe.
I think you're very calm.
Yeah, maybe.
Is that fair? Even when you're being choked out. I'm just kidding. Is that true? Is that true? When you do martial arts, you're calm.
I'd say martial arts. Okay, there's a few times when I get caught in like really dumb stuff. Like, okay, the way that I do jiu-jitsu, I get caught in triangles a lot, and that's like my weakness. You know, the one with the legs around your head?
Yeah, I put my crotch in your head.
Yeah, that's like so, I get annoyed when I make mistakes, but I'm always happy after doing jiu-jitsu.
All right, so
go ahead.
So my opinion, if you're listening to this, if you don't deal with stress well, do not try to start your own business, because I feel that you are very good at managing stress and multitasking, and yet you still feel pretty exhausted. Am I correct? At times.
Well, I'd say not even just starting your own business, because most businesses probably aren't going to go anywhere. Being in a position where you're accountable. So most jobs, like my current job, every single job I've had in the past, I'm not accountable to the performance of the product. I'm accountable to a manager. And I think there's a reason why all corporate America, all these companies, the large majority of people are not accountable to, did this game gain players or lose players month over month, year over year. I think most people, well, one, there's not that many things, there's not that many like products out there, and not everybody can be in charge of a gym or a game. Right?
Teachers are put in this position with test scores.
But okay, sure. I can see you getting stressed out over test scores, but aren't you more accountable to your principal?
Which will look at your test scores.
But there's other factors too, right?
I really don't know. I'm a gym teacher.
That's a good excuse for anything.
That's what I assume other people are dealing with. Yes. Right.
Oh, man. Yeah. But
our kids are getting fatter every year, Garrett. You better do something about it.
But you're not.
Okay. Kidding. I don't. There's no. They don't care about me.
Tell me if I'm wrong, but I feel like as a teacher, from all the other teachers I've talked to, it seems like you're more accountable to your principal. Your principal will tell you whether you're succeeding or failing.
That's true.
No,
but the principal is very concerned about the test scores.
But they're also concerned about other stuff as well. So the test scores is one of many
They're
things.
very concerned about not getting emails from parents.
Yeah.
Which
would you rather if you're a principal, would you rather have a teacher that has really good test scores, but you get a bunch of emails from parents, or the other way around?
Other way around. I'd rather have no emails, but
tests. Okay, so then it sounds like to me that teachers are still also accountable to their managers. So you're still accountable to people that you can see, right? So the thing, I did a lot of thinking about this, and I was also looking online to see if there's anybody Well, this was also the time Betty was telling me, my girlfriend was telling me, you should go to therapy. You know, I don't know. I didn't know if there's any therapy that would be good for this. There's various people I found online. The thing I was considering doing, I never got around to doing this, was therapy for content creators. Because this is kind of similar to making a YouTube channel.
Yes.
Where
you need to get those numbers.
Yes. If your livelihood is dependent on your YouTube videos, I don't know if you watch any YouTube videos nowadays, but the YouTubers, they talk about that kind of stuff. They're
Burnout.
like, they talk about that. Even with specific videos, I see them saying, oh, my last video about blah, blah, blah didn't do that well, guys. So I'm thinking about mixing it up.
Right? Yeah, I got really depressed when my podcast didn't make me money yet. I was hoping to be rich by now.
Well, you're still in the early phases.
No, I'm kidding.
Man.
My point is that I try not to care because the most important thing is I have fun. And my friends have fun with me.
That's a good place to be. That's
yes.
a good place to be.
And we feel like it gives us something we could do together.
Yeah.
So that I try not to do that.
That's a good place to keep all these side things at. But then I was doing a lot of thinking about this, and you know, the reason why all these companies are structured the way they are, and like having outside accountability, you know, investors, all that kind of stuff is good, is that if you have something that's showing that it has a little bit of potential, having these investors will kind of force you to work harder than you would if you were just doing it for fun. So that would be the potential benefit. I don't know. That sounds like you never took any investors for the gym. Well, yeah, I guess you got the Muslim guys, right?
No.
They didn't put any money in?
I am the sole owner of the gym.
Okay.
And we want to get that straight. that there's no power.
Okay, no, you paid them money. You paid them money.
Yes. I mean, people be playing games, so...
I see.
I see. I'm in charge.
Mm-hmm. So, I guess my takeaway from all this
being a CEO, what's your takeaway?
If it's something, it is definitely good to keep something in this like fun, I just do it for fun, I don't care too much about it, that kind of realm. Mm-hmm. And I'd say row beats nowadays, you know, I still have calls every once in a while, but the way that I managed to deal with all the stress is I was just thinking, let me just return it back to how things were in 2019, 2018, when I was just doing it for fun. I was checking Discord like once a week. Mm-hmm. It was fun and I didn't have to stress about it and all that kind of stuff. So that's what I'm doing nowadays.
Any advice for me as running my own business?
It's kind of hard to keep that fun.
Oh, I'll tell you what. I say the exact opposite. I hate doing this for fun.
Not doing this for fun.
Doing this like we put this much money. I'm not playing around. Like I need to see results. Yeah. So I'm just letting you know. I hear you. But it ain't for fun. Not with that much money.
If you were that serious about it, you'd have to eventually quit your job and do it full time. And I assume you'd have to move to Kenya. But that wouldn't be good for you.
No. I'm not willing to move to Kenya. But I would say this. I think more important than is you have to be able to trust your managers. And that's one thing that Bubbly is a pretty good guy. So I think I'm able to avoid that.
All right. What do you think of this, man?
I can go there more often.
If I was an investor in this project, I'd be like, this Garrett guy, he lives all the way in America. Like, how is he involved in all this? How is he really into it? If he's all the way in America. I know you go 2, 3, 4 times a year?
No, once a year.
Once a year? You go once a year.
Twice tops.
But I would be, as an investor, I'd be a little concerned about how into it is this guy really. I know he put in all the money, but we'll just buy him out. Like, he can't be that into it. If I was some investor, maybe I lived in the same city, I would really have some questions about how into it is this guy.
It's easy. I'd say the reason I'm more into it is because I actually try to live the lifestyle of a gym person. Most business owners don't live. They're just investors. They don't actually try to understand what it means to embrace fitness. So there's an advantage that I have because I embody all the values of fitness. So I'm not.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel good about it.
Yeah.
In fact, the most important thing is I'm over here, not over there, so I can keep up with the trends. I can.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't have a problem.
But then, the obvious thing I say there is like, do you really need to be the head of everything? Can you just be
I don't.
an advisor? Yeah.
No, I try not to be. In fact, I try to trust the people underneath me.
Yeah.
I think that's a good owner.
Yeah.
Right.
Definitely.
All right. Well, let's transition, Shiny, into since you like games,
Okay.
how does that relate to women?
Women. Oh no. Oh boy.
And we'll end a little bit with your spirituality. What have you?
Women.
Yeah. Because you like to talk about women.
What do you
Let's
remember?
side note. Let's go. Let's side note.
Yeah. Rational male. Let's get into it.
Anytime you bring up male chauvinistic primal tendencies, women love to turn the other way when they hear you talk. That are Christian. Christian women do not like to hear that. But go ahead.
But they know it's the truth. They can't turn.
Well, the ones who are married know it's true. The single ones have not. They haven't caught on yet the reality of the way the world is.
All right.
The happy women.
All right. Let's bring it back.
Yeah.
I think I found this book. I tried to get you to read this book.
So when Shiny
go
came
ahead.
to DC 2018,
Yeah.
you were single.
Yeah.
And you were into reading stuff, and you were
I'm still into reading stuff. Yeah, definitely.
a little bit more theoretical than practical, real world experience. But go ahead. Since then,
Well,
what have you
okay.
learned?
So the premise of a lot of what I've read online when it comes to this subject is that if you're just a normal dude, you grow up through the normal school system in America, and I think this is the case nowadays. If you're a normal dude, you grow up, you graduate from college, maybe you have a job, maybe you don't. Things are like not looking that great for you. Your opportunities are not there. Maybe you have some money, maybe you don't. What do you do? Right? Like you imagine you're like a 24-year-old dude. You know a couple of these, man. 24-year-old dude, no girlfriend. What do you do?
Time out.
Yeah, go ahead.
27.
27.
And the name is. Sorry.
You know a couple of these.
Not theoretical.
You know a couple of these on the scale of how much they make. You know a couple that make a little more money, a little less money, a little zero money.
So what are you saying? The system is rigged against guys somewhat. Is that what you're kind of saying?
There's a lot of losers.
In terms of the education system.
There's a lot. Okay, when it comes to winners I didn't live in this time. I didn't live 20, 30 years ago, but apparently in the past it wasn't like super difficult. You would get out of college, you'd get the standard job, and there would definitely be like, it wasn't a problem for you to find a girlfriend or find a wife. Like, what do you think about this? You didn't live then either, but do you see this nowadays in your youth group?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that life's more complicated now. So you have to be more equipped. And unfortunately, not everyone is able to make the progressions that you need to get to that place of dating and.
So here's the funny way. Here's the funny way to the funny, edgy way to kind of put this that I've read online. Okay, so because of I don't know, various factors, Christianity, all this kind of stuff. We had this nice system going of monogamy, where there's one there in terms of population, there is one man for every woman. So we matched them all up. But now somehow we're reverting back to a more primitive state. The natural way of being things is what do you call it? Polygamy, where you got one baller dude, he got many wives, and you got all these losers that they send them off to go fight wars and all this kind of stuff.
Sounds like very. Did you say primal? Is that the word you use?
Well, I think that's the natural state of things, right? If you go look at the tribes, right?
I mean, I could see that.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're talking about like capitalism, like there are a few people that have a lot more than everyone else.
Well, even so nowadays,
in terms of social capital too.
Social capital, yeah, definitely.
Not just in the financial.
Yeah, definitely. So what I've read, and I pretty much agree with this. I even talk with a lot of younger dudes, and they're like, a lot of this thinking is becoming more mainstream. If I was talking to somebody 2017, 2018 about this, they'd be like, yo, what are you talking about?
Okay, so you're saying it's more of a loaded dice. Is that what you're saying? Like it's disproportionate.
Yeah, disproportionate, and there's a lot more. There's winners and losers. There's a lot more losers.
I think it's because of the internet. Obviously, everyone's trying to get that one person. When before you don't have that, you don't have the allure of trying to get that person. You just get whatever's in front of you. You get what you get.
So, did I ever show you? There's this image. There's probably several images of how online dating works. So you're lucky enough to never have.
I don't know how online dating works. What did I do? I was old enough that I used to write letters to my girlfriend in California, which is why I went to that place. I don't know. I don't.
And then you dance in the DDR dance for her.
I don't know if you know that. I used to write a letter, and
Okay.
you know how sad. This is how old I am.
Yeah.
I used to check the mailbox multiple times a day. And let me check you this: I had AOL, and there was no spam email back then. There was I only had one person, but the only one who would write emails to me.
Oh man.
So this is 2002, 2001.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's too young for you. Like there was
Well, how'd you meet this person if they're all the way in San Francisco?
I
They
met
came
him
once.
before, and then I came back home, and I became like a pen pal using the internet.
Okay.
And American Instant Messaging. But
Yeah.
what are we? Yeah, my point is that I'm a little bit of a different generation. I didn't have to go through this what is it, a rat race of a dating.
Dude, you're lucky, man. I don't know how much other people have told you about. Okay. Imagine you're a single dude.
Time I want to
right now. Go ahead.
I also used a calling card to call her. Do you understand what a calling
Did
card
it work out in the end? Was it worth all your effort?
When you're a loser, dopamine is very important. So it didn't work out, but it helped me pass the time.
It helped you.
It helped
pass
me
the
get
time.
through the school year. Having a carrot at the end of yeah.
I see.
Go ahead.
I see. Okay.
I broke her heart though. I'm sorry.
You did.
Yeah.
After all those emails.
Yeah, because that's what guys do. They hunt, and then they go, let me go to another terrain, right? I killed it, and let's move on. Yeah, so I'm not saying.
So yeah, your choices. You're the tallest Asian kid around, so you had
I was assertive.
You would have been the alpha male with the multiple wives. If this was the tribal state, you would have been good.
Time. So this girl went to the very famous high school, Lowell.
In San Francisco.
Yes. Does that sound familiar?
Yes, I know that. Yeah.
So if you want to say if I'd be alpha male, I would say I would be the dumbass alpha male.
Yeah, the jock.
Not the computer alpha male.
Yeah.
So
fine. Yeah.
There was. Yeah. I anyways, just go ahead. I'm just letting you know I wasn't like the. I had my limitations.
Yeah. I see. Okay. Let's see if you can put yourself in these kinds of shoes. Mm-hmm. You're a 20-something-year-old male nowadays. I don't know if you still want to be a PE teacher, but maybe you are a PE teacher. You're making some sort of money.
No, I do want to be a PE teacher.
You want to be a PE
hell yeah.
teacher.
I love PE. As long as those emails don't come, I'm very happy. Yes.
And then, okay, so no prospects. You don't really know any girls in your life. Well, sure. I guess if you're a teacher, you might. I assume you'll meet a few.
Oh, yeah. I'd be in the staff lounge.
Just be in the staff lounge. Joe, you'll be prowling. You'll be on the prowl.
In the staff lounge. I'll be going to staff meetings too.
Mm-hmm. All right, imagine you're working an office job where you're not around women. Because obviously, when you're a teacher, you're around women.
A lot of estrogen, yep.
Yeah, a lot of estrogen. Mm-hmm. So then you decide to make a dating profile. So that
this is fun. I like this conversation. Keep going.
You like this?
This is funny to me. I like these hypotheticals. Go ahead.
So you make a dating profile. Uh-huh. Are you ready for your ego to become absolutely destroyed? All right. So say you don't know anything about the dating. Oh. You haven't had, I don't know, somebody to tell you like how you've never had any experience in this kind of stuff. You're like very earnest. You're like, okay, let me go pick out my best photos. Let me like really put some effort into like my bio.
Okay. Let me pause.
Yeah.
Just these photos.
Yeah.
So Tommy's dating profile picture is him trying to swallow a hot dog.
No, that's no
raw hot dog. There's no bun. He's just putting it deep into his mouth.
Bro, that's some like Freudian.
My point was, I said, so Tommy was going for the stand out. He's trying to stand out. I'm like, damn, that is funny. So going back to, am I ready for rejection?
This is a lot of rejection.
I think it's harder if I was 20 because I'm not as secure.
No, definitely.
So obviously now I have, accomplished things and I'm much more secure. Mm-hmm. So it would be disorienting. How about that?
It'd be very disorienting.
I don't know if it's insecure, but it would make me confused.
Well, I'll tell you what it effectively is. As a guy, you can be picky about who you right swipe or left swipe. But either way, it doesn't matter. You're probably only going to get a response 1 out of every 100 or 200. Has that been your experience that you heard?
I'm not on the.
Okay. Well,
Tommy said is his thumb lost his fingerprint. He said he went through the whole East Coast. He said 1,000. He went through 1,000 a day.
Yeah. So the unfortunate thing is you're also going to experience
maybe because I'm a harder worker. Maybe I go 2,000 a day.
Go 2,000.
I have 2 cell phones.
So say you're being very earnest about this, and you're actually looking.
I'm looking for pleasure from this. I'm legitimately looking for it. Yes.
If you're being very earnest and you're like carefully reading all these profiles, and you're like deciding, oh, I want to talk to this person.
Yeah, that sounds like I'm getting ready to get destroyed.
Yeah, well, there's not any destroyed moment. It's just consistent. You're gonna swipe on a few of them, and just nothing will happen.
Gotcha. Like a slow, steady drip of low self-esteem, like drip, drip, drip. Not enough to flood you, but like, I'll be functionally depressed.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, but then, so this is more of what I've heard. Actually, I knew a few guys that were very successful in this kind of thing. But so the way that these dating apps work is that men, they swipe right on a normal curve in terms. Okay, so you can effectively grade everybody on a bell curve in terms of attractiveness, right?
Okay.
There are ones, there are tens. Most people are effectively average. Men, their logic when it comes to swiping, more or less is logical. It is a bell curve. They would rate the people that they see fairly logically.
Okay.
Right.
So women are different.
Women are different. And,
I believe you.
And then what it turns out is that women pretty much only swipe on the top 10% of men. So
they're only interested when they say swipe. They what does that mean? Like they bookmark him? They send a message?
Send a message. Or even so, most of these apps, in order to get them to work, you both have to like each other.
Send a flare.
Yeah, or send something. Send something. I don't know what Tommy showed you, but send something, or just a message, or even
if you want to talk about Tommy, I made him delete his apps.
Why, man?
For Tommy, I said, "You a bum, man. Get these apps off, man. Just stop, man. You can revisit later." So just a funny thought. Like my point is that I think some people get addicted too early. Like, it might be counterproductive, but go ahead.
This is how I say it online. You gotta get the inbound leads. You know what I'm saying? So if I were to give him advice, I'd say keep it on there. Limit your time to 20 minutes a day. He already got some matches, and he got at least one.
It's over.
Or two. Well, that's fine. That's normal. That's to be expected.
Don't worry. Tom and I are talking. He's dating Winnie. You remember Winnie?
I didn't know that much about it. I didn't really
Don't
meet
worry.
her. Okay.
I'm making it happen.
You can make it happen?
I'm going to try. I'm going to pick her up from New Jersey and bring her over. Deliver her. Go ahead.
Okay. This is why I would say you should get the inbound leads coming. And yes, you're going to get rejection. But, it's kind of like some of them are going to go further than the others. I'll say that much.
Whew. So men have low self-esteem from dating apps, and women have higher self-esteem. Is that what
if you're the average guy going to a dating app, you're almost definitely not. One, if you're a 10 out of 10, if you're
you don't need a dating app if you're 10 out of 10, do you?
You don't. But if you want even more leads, if you want to, because I knew a few of these cats back in San Francisco, and they'd be like, "Yo, look at who I picked up on Tinder or whatever," right? There's a certain look and lifestyle you want to go for. That's the only. If you're a dude just starting out on a dating app, that's not going to be your experience. And basically, be ready to confront reality of where you are on the bell curve. Like there's where you think you are on that total attractiveness.
Okay, so what I'm hearing from you,
go ahead,
is that there's only two options. You're the top 10% or you're nothing.
Yeah,
that's for a man. And basically 90% you just no reward. It's just straight up rejection.
Well, I wouldn't say that. Well, because I would say Tommy, just from his experience, I don't even know how long
he worked hard. He told me. He said he went 1,000 a day. That's
fine. That's normal. That was greater than zero, right? Greater than zero. So just having a in-person connection. Did I tell you when I first moved to Maryland? Yeah, I had some girl that I played Overwatch with. I played Overwatch with her and a bunch of her friends. That was my only friend in Maryland for the first 5 months. And then afterwards, at some point, we stopped talking. But
it sounds like, I don't know if we want to keep going down the internet, bro.
Go ahead.
It sounds fucking exhausting to go down. I mean, why can't you're so desperate for interaction? It would be just so much easier to go to a place where you could actually just talk to people. They couldn't straight up reject you. Like you could actually have physical contact.
That's hard to find, man.
Well, let's just pretend like our church is ideal for it would be nice to be able to go to a Wednesday group and have nice conversations with fine young women and say, if you like it, great. If not, it's okay too. Like that would be so much easier than this online thing.
I think church is pretty good. I honestly think CCC is pretty good. You know, some fine single
Name some
women, some fine single men and women there, man. They got that singles ministry going on, man.
All right, that's what
you're out of the game, so you don't even know. There's some fine single men and women there.
Well, I hope that. Well, I'm trying to groom our guys to be sexy by taking everyone to the gym. I'm trying to increase. If you're listening from a church and you want the church to be well, I'm trying to make every young adult sexier by going to the gym and then reproduce to add to our numbers. So how about that? Yeah. They may not be sexy when they come, but they're gonna look better if they hang out with me.
Yeah,
is that fair?
And you stay on the program. You don't quit.
The women come a little finer, and the men get stronger.
The women, you're fine as you are.
No. No, Evelyn got better looking.
Okay, all right.
Is that true? She's on the praise team. She looks better with confidence.
Sure. Yes, everybody looks better with confidence.
Yeah. So that's what I do. Yes. I'm trying to make babies. Trying to help our young adults make babies, so we can add numbers.
One step at a time there.
I told Evelyn that she would look like I want 3 babies.
3 babies
from her.
Wow.
Because of the hips.
The hips.
Yeah. I feel like 3 babies could come out.
3 babies.
Yeah.
At the same time.
I just randomly text her. I'm gonna be so proud of you for having 3 babies. All right, go ahead, Shai. So, anything else about women? It's telling me that the online cell phone app is a very tough game to play unless you're one of those standouts.
Yeah, definitely.
But what about in person?
In person is what it always has been.
It's the same game.
It's the same. Well, obviously, people are now more into social media. I'm lucky to have grown up. Even in college, people had like Facebook, and they'd post their statuses and stuff, but it wasn't a huge deal. It wasn't like a talk to me through Instagram first, that kind of thing. So I don't really know a whole lot about it. I
don't really have Instagram. I don't know.
You should get one, man.
I'm thinking about just to promote this podcast because every time I look at those numbers, I get sad.
Just keep your expectations in check.
No, I would do it purely just to market things. So for the Gap, for my charitable stuff, I'd use it for that and this. But in terms of personally, there's no benefit for me.
I'll say this is work. It's work. It's not free. It's not. You know, if you find your audience, it's still work. Anything else you want to talk about here?
I don't know anything else about girls. Find interesting.
Girls.
When I say girls, I mean the opposite, interacting with the opposite sex. Not that you're a master. You're a master of women.
So the tips that they tell men online to do. All right. So number 1, you're a lonely dude. You post about it. All right. Depends on what kind of Twitter or what realm of Twitter. If you're on left-wing Twitter, dude. I don't understand these dichotomies you're drawing. Well, okay,
I don't know what realms of Twitter are.
Okay, you know what left wing and right wing.
Yeah, Tucker Carlson.
Right? Yeah. Okay.
Somewhere in the right side.
So if you're on like the right wing side of Twitter, they'll be like, go find a church, move out of the city, go to
Tennessee.
Go to Tennessee would be great. Tennessee's great. I like Tennessee.
Yeah, that's where Ben Shapiro lives. Nashville.
I thought he lived in LA. Did he move over there?
Yeah,
okay. Well, Nashville is not normal Tennessee. Right.
But he still needs he's rich though. Ben Shapiro.
Yeah, sure. But
all right, so that left wing Twitter is what?
Left wing Twitter. Well, so they're all about you got to find a community or like be part of community and be valuable in a community. Right wing Twitter is all like, join a church that's like all this traditional, that kind of stuff. Left wing, man, if you're a left wing kind of person, what do you do? Like go out, join a political action. I don't know. Like
BAC.
Yeah, I know. Like probably like play sports or so. I'd say both sides would play sports. Both sides.
Why are we talking about Twitter again?
I don't know. That's what I read.
Okay, so
I thought you liked this kind of conversation.
I wasn't sure if it related to today anything else. You're saying that.
Yeah. Well, basically, what to do if you're a guy. I think church is great.
Church is a good place.
I honestly think CC's great, man. As I said before, lots of fine single men and women here. So
I'm trying to run the numbers in my head.
You could honestly pair every single one of them. If we're doing the whole arranged marriage game, like, oh, there's a good.
All right,
good one
girls,
for every single
if
one.
you're listening and you're listening to this podcast, the men will be ready soon.
Be ready.
My
soon.
boys will be primed soon. They're coming out of college hot.
I thought they all graduated.
No, not Edward and Zesson. Okay, so
man.
and Tommy is getting more and more muscles in the gym. So
problem is not enough incoming leads. So how do you get more?
for the longest time, there were more attractive women, and my answer is I'm going to change that. I'll make these guys good looking by trying to lead them out.
Yeah.
So I guess you're saying good some decent options.
But then the other thing I see a lot online, I more or less agree with this, is that a lot of the modern church's message is very
Feminized.
very feminized. And if you go, sure, community and all that jazz, that's great for a man. But
No.
if you go there and you are not really into the message, you're not into the music, you're not into the whatever activities, is it really worth still going?
Shiny, don't worry. I do everything I can to fight that narrative. I don't know if you would agree, right?
Yeah.
I have a very a male-dominated youth group
Male dominated.
with a few queens in there.
Non-political male domination. Yeah, that's what we need to do.
Okay.
Well, maybe America needs more of you.
Well, churches do.
Churches do. American churches need more of you.
And if you're part of church, I'm not running for the church board. maybe appreciate whatever I do, but I don't know if I do well with these structures.
Yeah.
These invisible bars.
Oh, definitely.
All right, Shai. So let's talk about last topic.
All right.
We started to talk about church. Gamification. How do you look at the Bible? You know, you were not I don't know what you were, a fringe, maybe a little bit on the fringe when you first came out of church. Coming from a computer science video game designing background, how did you look at the church and the Christian religion?
Okay.
How did you game the system?
Game the system.
I know you're trying to find a fast track to elevate yourself as an alpha in the church, so you get all the other alpha, all the other sexy. So let's go side note.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Like, you think I could trick Esther like that? I could be a mature Christian. I'm like, I don't know, Shani. I kind of feel like it's a dead giveaway that you're not.
Dead giveaway. That means I'm not good enough.
You need to be like
talk the language.
You need to be like Josh Shang. You need to be serving at every youth conference. That's what those women look for.
True.
They don't look for the Mustang and the nicotine patch. So anyways, my point is, I'm sure every logical man is like, how do I game this system to get the most out of it?
That's what men do. So you know what? If you're a man, do it. Game it as hard as you can.
Game church.
That's what built everything we have. Men trying to game the system and men trying to game women.
Do I try to game the system?
Yes.
Tell me how I game the system.
You try to organize you're trying to organize various things.
Yeah.
And try to figure out what the best political way of doing those things are.
But how's that for my benefit?
What do you even want nowadays? So, what you want now is obviously very different. But so if you're a single guy, I would hope you'd be gaming stuff, because the nature of gaming stuff is trying to
find a cheat code.
Trying to move up in social hierarchies. That's ultimately what gaming things are. Move up in social hierarchies faster than you would normally, which is not even guaranteed. It's not even guaranteed that you move up. So, but I think you're still trying to move up social hierarchies, but I'm trying to think, like, what do you want nowadays? What do you even want out of the church? Well, you want to get enjoyment.
I want to see the people I mentor,
yeah,
these superstars.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's gaming the system, but that's what I would like, that the kids that I mentor in Sunday school.
Well, so I think a lot of what you want nowadays is not very self-focused.
Legacy based.
Yeah. So
Well, actually, I'm not going to tell you.
Uh-oh.
I have some thoughts.
You have some thoughts.
I'm not going to share, but I'm always busy. I don't know if you know, I'm always up to something.
Yeah.
All right. So when you came to our church, how did you game the system? What did you think about this new Discord, this new whatever you want to call it, this new social structure?
Social structure. Well, I'll tell you the truth. I'm still not. There is definitely this, what you're talking about, like being like a volunteer at all these conferences and all that kind of stuff. I'm still not.
You and nobody compared to Josh Shank.
Yeah, I'm nobody.
Josh Shank volunteers everything.
I'm scrub.
He volunteers even when he's not here.
Yeah. I'm a scrub, but it's okay. You know, there's
the other route too.
Yeah. What's the other route?
The all-brand Christian.
You do a few things too.
Yeah.
You do a few things too. I think I'm lucky enough to have participated and been a part of, there's a lot of social hierarchies out there. And ultimately, I'd say, you know, what we were just talking about, like being part of Christian conferences and all that kind of stuff, that's just another social hierarchy. And, you know, what's some other social hierarchies?
Now, there's no doubt, because when you go to conference after a certain number of years, people recognize you, and then they give you, people want to join your small group. Oh, he's just cool. Like, I was the cool small group leader.
Yeah.
Everyone was having more fun in my small group. Like, so I get it. Yeah.
So that's just another social hierarchy. And, you know, you can't be the boss of all the social hierarchies. You know, you're going to get the best outcome if you pick one social hierarchy. Obviously pick a good one. Don't pick like the Dungeons and Dragons men nerds club, right? If you're the boss of that, nobody cares. That's like being the boss of a Robeats Discord. Like, nobody really cares.
Hey man, don't say that, man. You're undermining your own numbers.
Yeah. But I thought that was a very interesting social hierarchy.
Yeah. What did you notice in the church that made it unique? Yeah.
Well,
was it all the same to you?
Yeah, I think that social hierarchy was fine. Okay, I'll tell you what I really like. My high level thoughts about Christianity, I would say honestly, it is more influenced by like stuff that I read, various online things, and let's see how much of this you agree with. A lot of what we have in terms of modern civilization and all this kind of stuff does all come from Christianity. And, you know, a lot of people don't like European history and
it's definitely modern society for sure.
Modern society, that all comes from Christianity.
I think I can right off the bat, the importance of the family structure, the importance of obedience to the government, the importance of somewhat democracy, and individual freedoms and law and order, like rules. There's some like moral code. Yeah.
Well, I would say, democracy is definitely not part of immediately part of Christianity.
It's the idea that, to break it down for you,
go ahead.
God is God and not king is God. So it's like trying to understand that we don't worship a person, we worship God. And the other idea is that because we're all flawed as sinners, we had to be very careful about giving too much power to one person. So so dividing the power is more of a checks and balances. So that's part of the Christian theology. Okay.
Yeah. Well, I think the other important thing from Christianity is that every soul, every individual is important.
That's right.
Every man, every woman is created in the image of God. Right. That's something that is definitely not reflected in
other cultures.
Right. Well, just the importance of the individual over the group. Right. Almost all other cultures are very group focused, and Western society is focused on the individual. And it's great to be part of an individual focused society because you can elevate your own needs above.
I'm talking about the Bill of Rights.
Yeah.
Like valuing each person. Every person has a right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I get you. Yeah.
Every person has a right. Every person is important. People are more important than the group that they're part of.
Okay.
Right. That's, I think a lot of that's really great.
Okay, so you're reading. So this is your understanding of Christianity. What happened?
Well, what's the alternative? Okay. So a lot of mainstream stuff. Well, I grew up in the 90s, so this is still, but a lot of what we see nowadays, I think everything that we see, as even when you talk about SJW culture, what is SJW? So you know what SJW stands for, right? You know, social justice.
Warriors.
That means being militant about social justice. But okay, we can break it down a little bit. Social justice.
I'm familiar with this stuff.
Okay, so you know all this. So social justice, what is the injustice? If you want social justice, what is the injustice? Well, there are certain individuals that are oppressed, and that is a fundamental evil of our society, and we should be militant, we should be warriors, we should be advocates to try to fix this injustice. Even the idea that there is justice and injustice, and is our duty, maybe not as Christians, but as good people, to try to fix this. Social justice, you can think of it as an offshoot of Christianity.
Of course
the
it is.
morals come from Christianity, but obviously the practice turned very different.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, absolutely. Talking about things like Sermon on the Mount, turn the other cheek, blesses the poor in spirit, like helping your neighbor. Yes, these are.
Well, but so this is Christianity
forgiveness.
past that has gotten over the need of God,
Gotcha.
or definitely the name of Jesus. Definitely Christian. There's all the same morals of Christianity, but without the humility and all sorts of other stuff that comes with,
Okay, they basically Christianity without a God.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
So the same moral
But we still wash feet of.
Be what?
We still wash the feet of Black Lives Matter people.
Oh, you said it, not me.
So
That's okay. No, Black Lives Matter. I think
no,
it's, yeah.
no, you're right. I'm saying there is a lot of religious elements in the social justice movement that seem very similar to Christianity without the God.
Well, they're a direct, they're a direct. Well, just like you can say, you were saying all that stuff about the Bill of Rights. I think you know some of this. All the founding fathers of the United States, right? Like I think Thomas Jefferson was he was an atheist, I believe.
They would call it
theist.
So that means that God is like a clock.
Yeah,
he winds
yeah.
the clock and he lets it unwind. So he's a creator, but not actively involved.
Well, they were not that far removed from medieval Europe, where the church was like very powerful organization, all sorts of corruption. Also, a lot of good stuff, right? The church preserved knowledge all the way from the Roman Empire and the Greeks, but they also did a lot of bad stuff too, right? But what I'm trying to say here,
like, where we? I didn't know we were in a.
Yeah.
What curriculum were you doing today? Okay.
But all I'm saying is that I think almost every single belief that we hold, is some sort of either it's from Christianity or a response to Christianity. And
in America, for sure.
In America,
I don't know about Japan. Maybe they just kill themselves.
Yeah.
Maybe they bring shame on the group. They're dead.
Well, that's why it's good to be an individual.
But
right?
yeah, in
good
America,
to be an
for sure.
individual. Yeah. So I look out there and I see, what else is there? What are the different options in terms of what you can structure your life around? And I would say, it seems like a good bet right here, right? I know that's
sound like a Jordan Peterson.
Sound like Jordan Peterson. No, I told you I like Jordan Peterson.
Even if God doesn't exist, you have to live as though you believe in God. Like that's
better as a whole for society if everybody believes.
Something like that, right?
Yeah,
it makes sense.
Yeah, I think. Yeah.
I mean, hey, I agree.
Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah. Yeah. So you've been thinking about it in this kind of stuff recently?
No,
probably not. Yeah, all good.
I'm past that point.
You're past that. Okay. Well, so once you're past that point, where do you go?
How do I? See, that's. I don't want to get too in depth, but that is more. What you're talking about is more your introspection and like trying to discover your purpose.
Yeah.
I'm more about living out my purpose. So it's not about me. It's about living out my convictions. So my convictions would be, at least me personally, trying to use the people and the resources I have around me to make the biggest and positive impact in the world. And so I don't really get too, that's not philosophical. That's more technical. That's more strategic. That's more like business leadership or whatever you want to.
Ultimately, you got to do something with your life after you made up your theory about how the world works. You have to do something with your life. And
so I'm not as theoretical with my faith.
Yeah.
That's all I'm saying.
Yeah. But I think that's good. I think that, unless there's something else.
Well,
that was interesting there.
Johnny wants to say that you were saved by faith and not by good works, so that no man can boast, in case Pastor Josh or Aaron's listening.
I think we're okay.
That is the foundation of his faith.
I think we're okay here, man. I think we're an hour and a half in. If you're still listening to this, you got to be really into it.
I'm just kidding. Anything else, Shai? Maybe we could kind of close it up. But is there anything else you want to?
I think we're good. Yeah, it's fun, man. It was fun.
All right.
I think you know a whole lot about my life nowadays. After all this. Anything surprise you from what I said? I think you knew most.
I think I'm very impressed about how not stressed you are. That's and maybe one thing that would surprise you that you don't know about me is how stressed I get. That's probably my opinion about you probably shows more about myself too. Is that, do you think I get stressed from trying to do all the different things I try to accomplish?
I believe that, yeah, definitely.
Do you think I hide it?
I think you probably want to get into martial arts again. I think that might be for the best for you. Like based on what I know, how you handle stuff. But actually, martial arts stresses you out, or at least just the training things too. So, but I think you should. I assume you're doing some sort of other sport, but you probably.
No, my back is fucked, and I hurt my knee today.
Oh man!
And that's why we're drinking
alcohol. Some of this prosecco. No, I think after you have your baby, or however many other ones you're trying to have, 2-3 years down the line, I don't know how stressed you're going to be, but I think you might want to do jiu-jitsu or something that involves a little bit of violence.
I will say this. I am impressed by how easy it is for you to try to always go back to the basics, which is have fun. Yeah. Have fun and do what you love. That's my takeaway. You find a way to keep it simple, even though your brain is very complex. You're not like some people who are really smart just go in circles and make themselves depressed because they're so smart. They see the negative in everything. I don't know if you realize this about some people.
Yeah.
My best friend, one of my closest friends will say, being smart is a curse because he just sees the flaws in everything. So I am impressed that you're smart and yet you're able to still be somewhat innocent in your way of living.
Well, you gotta go out and live your life, right?
But that's not easy.
You gotta go out and do stuff.
It's not easy. Am I correct?
Definitely. Well, it helps to have a schedule, right? Release an update every Friday. Go to church every Sunday. Jiu-jitsu and kickboxing 3 times a week. I think that really helps. That's really what keeps me going. The schedule.
Kickboxing. I want you to fight me again.
Go. Oh, with your knee?
Perfect time to get me.
Yeah.
Hit me with the rounds kick to my left knee. All right, well, I guess we'll wrap it up. But you know what I want to title this podcast?
Go ahead.
Games, Girls, and God.
Games, Girls, and God?
For Shiny. Does that sound fine with you? That's what I learned.
Yeah, I think we steered in a good direction.
All right, man. All right. Well, if you're listening, we went a little long today. 2 hours. The longest I've ever done, 1 hour and 40 minutes. But the truth is, it doesn't matter because it's a Saturday night and I don't care. So.
And May's gone.
May's gone and I had fun with this. So, hey, Shiny's a great guy. If you enjoy this, check out his other previous interview where he talks about his whole resume. But other than that, peace out, guys.